Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how to add fringe to one of your projects. This works for knit or crochet projects, and you can use any yarn you want. Alright, so the materials you're going to need: a measuring tape, a pair of scissors, a crochet hook, and some extra yarn. So I'm using the Sari Silk ribbon yarn, but this technique works with any yarn. So all you're going to need to do is find your cast on or bind off edge. I'm using my cast on edge, and you're going to want to cut strips of yarn, which I'll show you how to do that in a second, and we're going to be attaching them to our cast on edge here. So this tutorial specifically creates fringe that is about 4.5 inches long, but you can cater this to do any length you want. So just make it longer, shorter, however you want. You don't have to follow this exactly. This is just a guideline to show you how the process works. Okay, so you're going to lay your measuring tape out, and you're actually going to measure out strips of yarn that are 1 foot long, so 12 inches long. So you lay your yarn out to be the right length, and you don't want to pull it too tight. You want to pull it just so it's taut, and then the end that is connected to the ball of yarn, you're going to pinch with your fingers so that you know where to cut, and then just cut it. And you've done your first strip. And you just repeat that process. So lay the end down on one side and measure out, and then pinch when you have your 12 inches, and then cut at that 12-inch mark. And you're just going to cut as many strips as your pattern tells you, or however many you need. And if you don't know how many you need, you can always go back and cut more. So just start out with a few, and then start attaching them, and then you can go back and cut more as you need them. That way you don't end up with lots of scraps of yarn that you don't need. That being said, we have a few here, and I'll show you how to start attaching them. Alright, so here we have one of our edges. This is the cast on edge of a project of mine. So you can kind of see that my cast on is made up of all these loops just below each stitch in your first row. So that is what we're going to be attaching our yarn to. So we start out with our first piece of fringe. So what you do is you pick a loop. So I'm going to pick this edge one here, go underneath it with my crochet hook, and then you just wrap the yarn around it and pull that strand through. So you're only pulling one end through, not both ends. So pull it out so it's even. You want to have your ends lined up here. And now what we're going to do is I have my ends down here, and I'm just going to twist my yarn like this. I'm taking both my fingers here, and I'm going to pinch that yarn and pull it through. So you're going to pull down with the tails while pulling up on the loop. So simultaneously do that. So now we've attached our first piece of fringe. So we just move over to the next cast on stitch, which is this one here. Pick up another strand of your fringe. I'm going to wrap a small portion of it around your crochet hook and pull that one tail end through. And then you're going to pull it down to meet the other end and even them out. And now we're going to make our knot. So what I like to do is I like to pinch the ends with my hand like this in my last few fingers. And I put one finger here with my thumb, kind of twist it. And then with your 2 fingers here, you're going to pinch the tail end and pull it through that hole that you've just created. So pinch and pull through. And now you're going to simultaneously pull down on the tail while pushing up on this little loop here. So go ahead and do that. There you go. You've just added your second bit of fringe. You just keep doing that across your end until you have as much fringe as you want. And if you want to add even more bulky fringe, you can hold 2 or 3 strands at the same time and follow those same steps, and it will give you a thicker, more full fringe. So thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful.